Hey, buddy, what an intro. Thanks, man.
Hey, no problem. It's nice to see you again. It's been a while.
Dude, absolutely. Yeah, those late nights, early mornings.
Yeah, weird,
They
weird
they were
times.
rough. I
Yeah,
love
so
it.
I love that you're coming on the show. We've been doing Canucks games all year long, and with the Abbey Canucks going so far in the playoffs, we thought it would be a good idea to get you on here to chat about the good old days. So I just want to confirm your allegiances. What is your favorite hockey team?
It's the Canucks, man. It'll always be. It'll always be. I feel like I get a little razzing every now and then from the boys, but everyone's got a B team. I'd like to see the Flyers do well. I wouldn't call myself a Flyers fan, but no, it's always Canucks all day long.
Has your thoughts on the Flyers changed now they have Talkit, or does that improve your love for the Flyers?
No, the weirdest thing why I started loving the Flyers, I mean, just through the years, like I liked like Briere back in the day and stuff like that, and I loved like Lindros, Legion of Doom, all that. But like, um, I always loved because there was the weirdest thing in Vancouver for the longest time. I remember I went to a game. We were playing the Phoenix Coyotes back in the day, and the Canucks lost like 6-0. And people were like, they were like clapping at the end of the game, like, "Oh, good try, guys." And I'm like, this isn't the way it should be. I paid $100 to get into this game. And then you go to Philly, and like if they get outshot in the first period, they get booed off the ice. It was gorgeous. So I fell in love with it right then and there.
That's kind of funny because my secondary team has always been Pittsburgh because I've been a big Crosby fan over the years. So I guess our secondary
Nice.
teams are at odds with each other, but that's all right. We can still chat.
Yeah, right.
So over the years, did you pick up? It could be a current Canuck or it could be a historical Canuck. Do you have a favorite Vancouver Canuck player?
I do. I got kind of like a three-way tie, I'd say. I love Pavel Bure. I mean, the man's a god. I still have like the PSA 10 rookie card. I'm waiting for that to skyrocket in value. But and then I've got two randoms for you. I loved Scotty Walker.
Mm-hmm.
I was a huge Scotty Walker fan, and we used to do a show on 650 a few years ago, Green Men Radio, and we got Scotty Walker on. And man, I had the butterflies churning. I could barely like put a question together. Oh, it was the greatest. Guy was a warrior. And then I loved, obviously gone way too soon. I loved Rick Rippon so much. And had he been with us for that 2011 run, who knows? But yeah, no, the Ripper, man, he was an absolute beauty.
I've never pictured Rick Rippon punching Marchand in the face, but I kind of like that visual.
Yeah, right. It's just the opposite of what actually happened with him and Sedin.
Yeah,
We go the
exactly.
other way.
So, do you have a favorite moment then, as a fan watching the Vancouver Canucks? Is there a game that stands out for you?
Yeah, I mean, it would be easy to go with the cliche, and it's so true. Taking Burroughs slaying the dragon, like that was the loudest I've ever heard that arena. It was like it still felt like a bomb went off, and you just had like you could barely like it was like whoo in the ears. It was just so loud, and everything happened in slow motion. BX is scoring the winner against the Sharks
Mhm.
there. But I was so nervous because I thought I was going to get called back because I thought it must have hit the netting or something, not the stanchion. And then, but like they just kept pouring more and more confetti on the ice. So like I don't know what's going to happen here. But no, those two were awesome. And then another great moment was, and I was at the game, and this is a weird one, but it's still, if you go onto YouTube, you can find this scrap, and you could see me as like a child jumping up and down. We had those seats for the night, and it was the night, actually, unfortunately, of course, that Steve Moore, the Moore Bertuzzi night. But earlier in the night, because it was just a total scrap fest, Yarko Ruutu, who I love, was scrapping Rob Blake, and Blake came over top, and Ruutu ducked down, and I watched right in front of me on the glass, Rob Blake's hand just explode. And then he sat in the box next to us, like his hand was like bright blue. The poor guy. But yeah, that was a moment I'll never forget for sure.
Did you kick him when he was down? Were you making fun of his hand?
I mean, I might have chirped a little bit. I don't know. I was out of the suit, so there's no anonymity, so I had to be careful down there, you
That's
know.
true. That's true. Yeah, it's funny because I was at that game too, but I had actually left early because I think it was like 8-1 or something like that, and I pieced out. I was on the SkyTrain, and everyone's like, "Steve Moore got it," and at first I was like, "Yeah," and then I eventually saw the clip, and I'm like, "No."
Yeah, no, no, it wasn't good. Wasn't good, man. But I mean, aside from that, even though it was a total blowout, it was a very entertaining game
Yeah.
right up until that point. Then it was like, ooh, this we'll sit back down now. So yeah, that wasn't the best.
So Sully, did you play hockey growing up, or did you play beer league or anything like that?
Yeah, oh yeah. I played hockey. I mean, since I was 3, I've been on the ice, and then yeah, beer league now, and I'm just a plug now who eats hot dogs after the game.
Do you have
But
a
no,
favorite
yeah,
moment?
for years, man. Favorite moment, I scored a winner playing Duffers in North Van. We won the title on it was like a shootout because like you know how beer league works. Like
Yeah.
it goes to the refs just want to go home, so they're like, all right, let's do a shootout. And then and I scored the winner. We were like knotted at deuces, and then it came down to me, and I went roof doctor with it. So yeah, that was good. And then you know, drank some extremely warm Molson Canadians out of the cup. It was a beauty, true Canadian moment, you know?
Yeah, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. I mean, you can't go wrong with a winner, right?
Right? Oh, it was a great night.
So I have to ask, where did you meet Force? And give me a little bit of a backstory about how you guys became the Green Men.
Yeah, so I met Force when I first started BCIT. We both took broadcast journalism. We started in 2008, and Force was in the other set. There was 2 sets, and so I didn't get to see him too much, but you know, we played intramural hockey, and I guess that's where the brotherhood started. And then what happened actually was at the start of the second year, we both got brought out to TSN to do internships out there, which was like amazing. But you spend like a month and a half out there in Scarborough, which can be scary at times. But anyhow, and so we overlapped by like a week or two, and he had these DVDs, this showing the times. We had these DVDs of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's like, "You're gonna love this show. Check it out." And so, as you know, Charlie Day, he rocks the green suit and he gets weird with it. And then when I was coming back, we had tickets to a Seahawks game, and we were talking to each other like, wouldn't this be funny if we just embarrassed our buddies and wore these suits? Like we were the very top row at then Quest Field, and so we're like, yeah, let's just have some pops and throw on these suits and see what happens. And so we ordered them up, and my suit came in the mail a day after that Seahawks game. But I had Canuck tickets, so I was like, you know what? Let's put them to use. This will be funny. And then that's when it all started, and just like in total chaotic fashion, you know.
Yeah, against Nashville. And I went back, I was doing a little bit of research for the interview, and I saw the very first time the Green Men name was used. It was John Garrett on that call that night. Some guy ended up going to the box. So do you give credit to John Garrett for naming you guys?
I didn't know it was John Garrett. No, so what was funny about that is so my phone is blowing up because like at the time I was still working for 1040,
Mhm.
and so everybody that was up there in the press box knew that those were the seats, that was like, my old man company seat sort of thing. And so I'm getting text like, is this you down there? And I was like, funny story. And then media is like a very small world. So my number got kicked around all over the place. And so the next day we're on the CBC. We go down there where it was Shane Foxman. And he's like, so what do you guys call yourselves? I was like, I don't know, the Green Machine, because that rhymed. And that, lo and behold, I mean, maybe it was foreshadowing, but that's the name of like the 13th man here in Saskatchewan for the Rough Riders.
Funny.
Is the Green Machine. So, but anyhow, yeah. So we just flipped it up. We went with Green Men, and I didn't know John Garrett though. I guess next time I see him, I gotta shake his hand on that one.
Yeah, I'll send that clip to you. I think I've got it saved in my YouTube history, so I'll send that over to you so you can see it.
Oh yeah. Thanks, man. I'll give him a cut of our $0 made. It'll be.
Yeah. I met John Garrett years after this whole thing happened. I used to work in a restaurant out here in Surrey, and he came in, and I was like, "Yep, everything's free, brother. You're the greatest." So yeah,
He's a beauty.
Guy. Yeah.
Nice.
Do you have like a welcome to the NHL moment? Because a lot of players, they talk about that, you get body checked by your favorite player or whatever. Do you have like that moment as a Green Man, your welcome to the NHL moment?
The welcome to the NHL moment. Yeah, I mean, when it all kind of became real, it actually it didn't really have anything to do with the game, because for years, like, my old man's company, we had those seats, and I've been very fortunate growing up to be able to go to some games down there. So like I've been beaking guys left, right, and center when they come into the box. So nothing is really changing in that regard for me. But the second that we had it, when I did a handstand at a Kings game, and then the next morning it was at 1 million views on YouTube, and it was like, oh my gosh, like this is wild. But then I started spawning, those videos on YouTube where they just like, they goad you in, they put up a photo of it and stuff, and then you click it, and it's just a guy talking about what happened in his basement. And so there was this guy, and he's like, "You're not funny, green man. No one likes this." And like, and he's just, I don't know, for whatever reason, he was just so upset. I was like, man, I feel like we made it. I feel like this is starting to cut deep here. So
That's funny.
So that might have been it. Just that random in his basement was pretty good.
Some angry Kings fan, I guess.
Yeah, probably,
So did you have over the years, I mean, you guys used a lot of props, right? We talked about the waffles, the handstand you were very famous for, cutouts and stuff like that. Do you have like a favorite prop that you guys used while you were harassing the players in the box?
We had, the one that I wish we had so much. Like, for the most part, Canucks security they were so cool. They were just like, yeah, come on in, guys. You got like a 10-pound bag or whatever, bring it in, who cares? They were so great. But there was this one night, and we got this thing at Value Village. We were playing the Kings again, lo and behold, and it was like a 6-foot nutcracker, and he just had like a giant crown on, and we had nothing planned. We just bought a ton of walnuts, and we were just gonna make this thing just crunch, with this giant crown. But of course that one got confiscated at the door. We never saw it again. But no, I think that, the one back here is probably the one that I'm most proud of.
Yeah.
We got against Nashville there, David Poyle complained between series, and then all of a sudden we weren't allowed to touch the glass anymore. And there's still one clip of it. You can find it. It's Jordan Tutu in the box. And there's also, for whatever reason, it only happened that night. There were so many complaints, it never happened again. There was like this 3-bill security guard sitting next to him between us and Tutu in the box, like we were going to do anything. And so anyway, there were so many complaints that he never showed up again. But that night we broke out if we can't touch the glass, we might as well do a cutout of the handstand. And it was just gorgeous. The reception was perfect. So
Thinking the NHL, that might be like a cap circumvention kind of a thing. So and that was before they updated the CBA. So that's all good.
That's right. Yeah.
Did you get cause I mean, I think the one clip I saw, Mike Camilleri was chirping you a little bit, but do you have a favorite like player reaction to your guys' shenanigans in the box?
There were some great moments. Like it took us a few years. We finally broke Drew Doughty. Duncan Keith was brutal. Like he would just be dropping F-bombs, and we didn't even say anything yet. We would just lean in, and he'd already be halfway into a sentence just beaking back. And they were like, "All right, dude, there's kids around. Take it easy here." But I loved Milan Lucic in the final. And there's a clip of it too, and we did not come off well in this clip. But he's pointing at me, and he's pointing at me going like this, pointing at me and then going motioning like this. And everyone's like, "Oh yeah, he's talking about their package. Like this is hilarious." And which is still funny in theory, but no, what would happen was I bought a witch's nose, because I mean, love Lucic, but he's got a bit of a beak on him. And so I bought this witch's nose, and I'm wearing this giant witch's nose. And then and he's pointing at me. He's like, no, your nose is too small. Mine's way bigger than that. Yours is too small. So he was a gem. But for the most part, everyone was, after a while anyways, after the first few years, and then once it became a thing, people would have fun with us all over the place, which was pretty cool.
So do you think that you guys ever influenced the outcome of a game with your shenanigans? Did you ever get someone and get them off their game and actually cause the game to turn in the Canucks' favor?
Well, that very first night against Nashville, and I don't know if we can take credit for this, but so like you say, the Canucks won 4-1 that night. So Dave Scratchard, who I loved when he was a Canuck back in the day, he took 3 penalties that night. And so the first penalty, we get on the big screen, and everyone in there is the first time they've ever seen us, and they're like, all right, well, this is kind of funny, and we're just making weird movements and getting into it. And then the second penalty, Scatcherd comes over. Everyone's waiting. You can hear the build in the arena, and like the arena just pops. It's awesome. We're again just doing weird movements and like feeling our chests and stuff, and it doesn't make any sense. And then that third penalty, Scatcherd comes over and he throws a towel over the camera before he even sits down. The arena loses their minds. I've never heard boos like that at Rogers Arena before. It was the best. We were basking in it. And then the next day, Dave Scatcherd, he gets sent down and he never played another NHL game after that night. So I don't know. Was that a Green Man effect? I don't know. But anyway, it was he was rattled, man. He was rattled for sure.
We're gonna give you credit for Dave Scatcherd retiring. We're definitely gonna give you that.
I feel bad. That was it, but
So the other one I wanted to ask you about, because this happened, I think this was during the 2011 season, there was actually a couple of imposters, and I think you got that a lot because of the way you guys wore the suits. Obviously, anyone can wear the green suit, but there was a situation by the George Massey Tunnel where a couple of green guys showed up and caused a giant traffic jam, ruined everyone's morning commute trying to get through. The George Massey Tunnel is a chaos already, but they caused even worse. So then what happens? Does your phone blow up? Like, do you get accused of like causing these shenanigans that you were clearly not responsible for?
Dude, what's funny about that is a bunch of buddies and I that went to BCIT together, Forrest included, we go over to the island all the time. And we do this giant, like, hockey tournament sort of thing, ball hockey sort of thing. That was the weekend we were over on the island. So we are all absolutely gooned the night before. And big shout out to Mike Pipes Walker for hosting and Amanda Ailson. We're very appreciative, as always. But anyway, so like Force and I, like, I can hear his phone in the other room and he could hear mine just like vibing off the charts. I wake up, I've missed like 40 calls, and it's like the CBC, CFOX, CKNW. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And like all of the messages are like, is this you? Is this you? Or why are you doing this? It's like, what the hell? So I don't know what that was. To this day, I have no idea what that was. It was just a weird morning. I know that much. Craziest hangover I've ever had. I can tell you that.
Yeah. So you guys do, you retired after the 2014-15 season, but you did make a comeback. Canucks made a miraculous playoff run. You guys made a comeback. Is there any plans moving forward if the Canucks make the playoffs again to make an appearance as a game moving forward?
I mean, I hope so. Like the reception we got last year was just, I mean, it was so beyond what I could have even pictured. Like it was so warm and welcoming. And it's going to stick with me the rest of my life. That Boston game was incredible. The Edmonton game in the playoffs was just unreal. We had a sign in the Edmonton game that we got some flack over. But I think at the end of the day, it was such a minor chirp. And I know Kane is a good sport about it all. Like it was nothing, but people blew it up like it was a huge thing. But anyhow, if an invite comes along, I think we could be pretty easily persuaded to come back. Like it was so cool. And the coolest part about it, Russ, was like, you have all these photos. People would come down, 2011, 12, whatever it was, and they'd take photos with us. And they came down and they would say, hey, like, do you remember this? And then they would introduce us to their kid and they'd be like, and they'd be like, I've been showing my kid this photo for years and now he gets to see you. And so now we have an updated photo for them with them and their kid. And like, it was just like the next generation. It was so cool. It was 2 magical nights last year. And yeah, if the invite's there, you don't have to twist our arm too hard. We'll be there, I think.
Sully, I appreciate you joining the show today. It's been a lot of fun, and keep up the good work out there in Saskatchewan. If anyone wants to check them out, we've had your socials going across the bottom of the screen this whole time. You're working out there at Rock 102, which I guess is an upgrade on Rock 101 here in Vancouver.
Well, you know what? I'm a big fan of Rock 101 still. But no, Rock 102 is awesome, man. We got people streaming it around the world. If you're not here in town in Saskatoon, throw it out online. It's awesome. So thanks for the plugs, man. I appreciate that. And it was an honor. It's great to see you again, man.
Cool. Nice to chat with you, and enjoy the rest of the night.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
Nothing is perfect.